Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has those game ready.
Let's go!
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Bronco Nation? Happy New Year and welcome to Bronco Nation News Live. My name is BJ Rains. We got Johnny Ballgame. I just paid him his Venmo, so he's working today on a New Year's Day and excited to talk college football playoff. We got Boise State basketball heading down to San Diego State. Johnny, I think here at 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. Mountain Time. I don't even know the rules. Tonight at midnight, the transfer portal opens. I don't know which midnight that is, Eastern or what, but we're hours away from the transfer portal opening in football. So had that great game last night. So a lot going on today, and excited to have you with us, Johnny. How we doing?
Happy New Year. Happy 2026, man. I'm always the last person to realize it's the new year. I remember when I was in school, I was always the one that still put the old year on my paper. And it's like, come on, what are you doing? But 2026 is where we are today. Appreciate you, BJ, all of the BNN, all my colleagues and the BNN family, and of course the viewers. You guys make BNN really special. And yeah, I woke up and I was like, are we really doing this? Yes, we are on New Year's. Why? But I'm ready to go. Yeah, what the hell? We got some big games, like you said, today. And thanks for having me on as always. Hopefully everybody is doing well in the chat.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Johnny. I had the same feeling. We talked about this a couple days ago, and I was like, hey, we could do the show Thursday. My family's not in town. I got nothing going on. The games don't start till 10 today. So I was like, I know you got nothing going on. What do you think? And you're like, sure, let's do it. I was like, all right. And then, this morning I rolled over and was like, really? It sounded better on Tuesday when we talked about it. But we do have some stuff to talk about. Excited for that. And as you can see, some a new little graphic here, Johnny. We got the rustic wood here. I think we're giving a shot, and in conjunction with some of our new graphics is our new title sponsor. Welcome officially to Jim Sturk and Lithia Ford of Boise, taking over as our new title sponsor in 2026. I mentioned yesterday how thankful we were for the last 4 years with Andy Rowe and Rowe Painting, and excited, to continue on with them, but also very excited for our new title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. And if anybody knows Jim Sturk, Lithia Ford, man, when they got a chance to step up and support Boise State and support this community, they are going to do it. And had some conversations with Jim about this possibly being an option, and they were all in. And we're very excited for our partnership growing with Lithia Ford of Boise. They've been on board pretty much since day one as well. They were one of the few businesses, Johnny, that I did not know anybody at their company. When I went in, I set up the meeting, cold turkey, had never met Jim Sturk, and was kind of nervous going into his office, 3-4 years ago. And one thing led to another. We started out with a small deal. He was all in from day one. It's grown. And now Jim's a good friend and one of our biggest, now the biggest sponsor of Bronco Nation News. His deal is the largest deal we've ever signed with Bronco Nation News. So we are very excited about 2026 with Lithia Ford of Boise, and we're very thankful and appreciative of their commitment and stepping up. And nobody should be surprised when like I said, they're all over Boise State. They're sponsoring Jay Tust at Bronco Studios. And no one should be surprised with Jim Sturk and Lithia Ford stepping up. But we are appreciative, thankful, excited. It's going to include more broadcasts out at Lithia Ford, more broadcasts maybe from Lithia Ford vehicles as we drive around town. We got some fun, cool ideas. But Johnny, I know you know Jim Sturk and company, and he's texted us about some things. Really good dude, huge supporter of Boise State, and happy to have him in the Bronco Nation News family now as the title sponsor.
Yeah, I think Boise State fans, or Bronco Nation, whatever they want to be called, they're going to be hearing a lot of Lithia Ford this year around town. Certainly latching on Lithia Ford with Boise State and some media outlets. And Jim Sturk knows what he's doing. That's why he's had such a successful enterprise outfit out there doing what he does. And, he knows, I would imagine, if I want to attach my company to certain companies around Boise and whatnot that have to do with Boise State, well, BNN is going to be one of those. So congratulations to the Lithia Ford team and Team BNN, BJ. Let's I want to do one of those truck shows too, where we drive around. You should be driving.
Yeah, I think
so pick me for one of those, man. That'll be fun. We can.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe a month from now, that might be a little easier for you. We'll see. So excited for
Taco Bell too.
That's right. And someone, by the way, did say in the chat. Somebody asked if you got a kiss at midnight, and somebody said that you bit into a T-Bell quesadilla at midnight, which is better than a kiss.
Not better than a kiss, but a
breakfast. Hey, you want to know something funny?
Might be.
Hey, next time you're answering something, I'm I'm going to run to my fridge and get something in a second here. I may have something, but it's new font. I just noticed as well. New font on the comments there. Sorry, that took me back a little bit. Did I get new lights behind the camera? Yeah, they're a little too bright. I got to figure that out. Actually, the lights are the same. I got a new camera. We got the new mic. I put a new camera. Is your camera on your computer, or do you have an actual camera behind it?
On my home studio where I am now, the camera is on the computer. Yeah.
Okay. That's what
KTIK, we have a physical camera that we have installed.
Yep. And that's typically what I've done. But I was cleaning up my office here, and I had an extra tripod and an extra camera. So I actually tried to put a camera behind the computer here, and it's not. It's an interesting, I don't know. We'll see. It's way too bright, so I'll have to mess with that. But yeah, I did try a new camera here. Somebody asked about it. Can we get a hottie toddy today? Zooch23 wants to know.
I mean, you can get one. I mean, who doesn't love a hottie toddy, right, BJ? But I don't know if that means you're going to get a victory against Georgia tonight. Certainly, we can get to that game a little bit later. But yeah, we got to. This is new for me. You know, I'm not used to waking up on New Year's Day and then you have like 3 playoff games, not just all these bowl games, which is great too, but this is different. You actually have 3 playoff games, and it started last night, BJ, and this is kind of a new way to operate on New Year's Day. You know, wake up, don't be as hungover as maybe you have been on past years, because you have some very meaningful games today, and can't wait to talk to you about those. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. You know, I'm watching college football, hanging out, going to eat some good food and not do anything. What is it, Thursday? I love this time of year. You don't even know what day it is. Like this paradigm between Christmas Day and New Year's Day, like the time in between there, like nobody's working. Nobody knows what's going on. You lose what day it is sometimes. That's where I am right now. But yeah, hottie toddy. Let's give him one.
Yeah, it's weird because I think Friday is probably the best day for Christmas or New Year's, because you just get the 3-day weekend. Some companies are back working tomorrow. So it's kind of weird when it's on a Thursday. Wednesday is probably the worst because you have to work like the day or two before and the day or two after. But if you're trying to take extra vacation time or whatever, I know you guys are off, I believe, Friday, tomorrow as well. So yeah, it's kind of Thursday is kind of weird. And I'm trying to think, it changes one day every year. So I'm not sure if next year is going to Wednesday or going to Friday. But either way,
I always follow that wrongly as well. Yeah.
Either way, today, you're right. Awesome. You wake up and we're already 45 minutes away from Oregon, Texas Tech. I was looking on our Signature Roofing scoreboard, and I was like last night looking at what's the order of the games, and I'm like, ooh, we get Texas Tech, Oregon at 10 a.m. Like that is, yeah. I know some people. I love it, man. I also think the buys are going away now. 0-5. I think it is anyway, because we're going to have the 16 team. I really hope it goes to 16, Johnny. But one of the reasons, and I really do hope that some of the road teams, or I guess there's no, or not road teams, but teams that had the bye lose today, because I would like to see the playoff expand, and I think that needs to happen. We'll get into the 3 games today. By the way, we are in the Sun Cruiser studios. Appreciate Sun Cruiser, their support of Bronco Nation News. Perfect day on New Year's. Get out to Sun Cruiser. Have a Sun Cruiser vodka lemonade, a vodka iced tea, all the great options there from Sun Cruiser. And Johnny, we're doing it through the month of January. Any of our sponsors, Taco Bell, Lithia, ICCU, the Blue and Orange Store, Sun Cruiser, all of our sponsors, if you take a photo of yourself and post it to social media of you supporting a Bronco Nation News sponsor, whether you're in the Taco Bell drive-thru or whatever, post a photo on social media, and we're going to have a cool prize pack from all of our sponsors with some gift cards and stuff at the end of the month to give away. So support the sponsors, post it to social media, and we'll have a cool prize for you at the end of the month. All right, Johnny. So when I was back in St. Louis last week for Christmas, they just started sports gambling in Missouri. And so all these apps that they just started were giving away tons of huge bonuses and things. Okay, you bet $10, put $10 in your account, you get $300 in free play. Things like that, right? Just crazy things that try to get folks addicted to gambling and get their account signed up and get them going. Well, long story short, I had put some money in my account, and then I went to the Blues game with my family, and of course had to go pretty big on that with all these free play money. Hit that, of course, so I'm doing pretty good. I left town, but yesterday before I left, or before the game, I told my wife, who's still there, hey, log into my account and put some money on the game last night because it was just free money anyway. Why not? And plus 230 on the money line. I hit Miami for a nice chunk of change on the free play. Wow. So I don't know. I just had a feeling. I'm not a huge Ohio State fan anyway, but it typically happens, Johnny, in football, basketball. The team that everyone is complaining and bitching about that got in the tournament, or a team that some don't feel deserves to be in the tournament, ends up going on a run. And I don't know. I had a feeling about Miami last night. I was so pumped to watch that game. Great game. That was the game, right, Johnny? New Year's Eve that Boise State was in last year. The night it was the first game, and so this one it was just bringing back some memories watching that, on my couch. But how about Miami, man? And with their defensive, offensive lines and what they were doing running the ball, like I mean, Miami. Would it shock? I mean, maybe it would shock you, but it wouldn't really totally surprise me if we look up and Miami's playing a home game in Miami here in a couple weeks for the national championship.
Like a legit home game in their stadium in Hard Rock, which would be crazy to think for college football if that could happen, but they still wouldn't sell it out. They still have more fans of the visitor.
It'll sell out. It just won't be Miami fans. All Miami fans.
Miami. Yeah. Here's where I am on this. I lost my ass yesterday. I had Ohio State in that I thought they're the 33rd best team on this planet. I even though they did lose to Indiana, I still thought they would be able to take Miami. The spread was 7.5. I really respected Miami's pass rush and their front defensively, and respect isn't a strong enough word after watching the game yesterday. But here's the thing for me. It's the layoff. That's the worst I've seen Ohio State play this year, and it's not even close.
25 days off, I think they had.
They farted around the first half. We saw this 4 games last year where the team that didn't play in like a month had no idea what it was doing the first half versus the other team that had played 9-10 days previously was full on ready to go. They looked dead, that Ohio State team. They look like, we're playing again. Look, there's going to be a team in the NFL Sunday night football, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. The winner of that team goes to the playoffs. They play in 5 days. Okay, that's what you do in sports. You end the season. The very next week, you start the playoffs. Stop farting around with these layoffs. Dan Lanning had it perfect.
Yep.
Once you have Selection Sunday, the very next week, the tournament starts, and it runs through December. And today should be the Natty. Everything should be done, and we're ready to finish the season today, because what happens tonight? Yeah, the portal opens, meaning the season officially switches over. Like, stop the layoff. This is football. Like, take an NBA team, sit them for a month, and then have them go play a team that's coming off winning a mini series. That first game, that's going to be rough. Luckily, in those, you have a 7-game series. You don't have that in football. I am convinced. Heck, I've seen NFL teams come in off a bye week in the divisional round and struggle, and they only have an extra week. This is a month, and I don't know what we'll see today. I'm fully on expecting Oregon to lead at halftime. That's the only play I have right now. I got the Ducks winning at halftime because based on what I've seen, the team with the bye, in this case, Texas Tech, BJ, they haven't played since the Big 12 championship, right? A month, whatever it is. And Oregon played 10 days ago and got a really nice warm-up against a JMU team. I think Oregon in the half, but for me, and I don't know what you guys think, it's the layoff. It's not, look at Miami. All of a sudden, they're better than we thought for me. They are really good, but they're not better than Ohio State. Well, they shouldn't have been. And to me, it's just, and we got 5 games, 5 data points of this now.
I will say last year, the teams that got the bye weren't necessarily the best 4 teams. That had partly to do with it. Boise State, Arizona State, I forget who else it was. A couple of the teams that got the byes were ranked like lower than the team they were playing.
Oregon
like Penn
was
State
undefeated.
was favored.
Oregon was undefeated. They were the only undefeated team in America.
I said some. I know Arizona State, but By the way, I agree with you, and I think like I said, I think it's going to lead to change. Hopefully, the 16 team comes because then you have no buys. One plays 16, and you just get going. I agree with you on the dates. The problem is you got to figure out the Army-Navy thing. I mean, there shouldn't be something you have to figure out, but that's the only reason the playoff doesn't start the first Saturday is the Army-Navy game and the tradition and the history of it being that day. They need to move it to, maybe the first game of the season. Maybe it opens the season to celebrate. I don't know how possible that is to make that week 0. Maybe the whole season needs to start week 0. You have the whole issue about the conference championship games, Johnny. And do you, do those stay? Do those go away? But I totally agree. If the first game was on the 13th, then these games right now were on the 20th. Or 21st, whatever that weekend was, then you'd have your 4 teams, and maybe they get their 10 days to play on New Year's, and then you have your championship like it used to be on the 8th or 9th or 10th, and that's when the semifinal games are. And now you have the extra 10 days. I mean, January 19th, Johnny, there will be schools playing in the championship game that have already had like 2 weeks of classes in the spring semester, and some of those kids are going to want to transfer after the game and try to find a new place to go in time for the spring semester. The portal stays open for 5 days after you play. So some of those schools that play on the 19th, the portal is actually already going to be closed, but those players will get 5 extra days to decide. So the whole calendar is messed up. You got to move it around. I think you just start earlier. That just seems like the obvious one. I know the schedule is getting longer and longer, and you're going to be starting practice in mid-July, but it is what it is if you're wanting to do this. I don't think they'll ever get rid of regular season games. I know the FCS, everyone says, just go to the FCS model, 24 teams, whatever. Well, they only play, I believe, 10 regular season games, right, Johnny?
They play 12 now.
Oh, they did go to 12.
They moved it up. Yeah, they play 12.
But no conference championships.
No conference.
So they don't play they play 12, no 13 games, no exception for playing Hawaii or all that. 12-game regular season, and if you win it all, you would play. I guess if you're one of the teams that doesn't get a bye, you could play 17 games.
Yep.
Okay. And I have no I have no problem. I will 16, say this.
I think
I will say this, Johnny. Like the whole safety and wellness and all this stuff. Like they're getting paid now, so you can play an extra game or 2. I don't have a huge problem with that. If you say,
right.
They're playing
the
17,
something out of it now. 100%.
Yeah. That was the whole thing. Like, they're playing an NFL schedule, 18 games. Well, they're NFL players now. They're professionals. They're getting paid. You can play an extra game or 2. I don't have a huge problem with that, but I think you have to figure out a way to get it moved up early. Remember, they have till January. It's like right before the championship game. It's probably, I think it's that weekend, is when the new deadline is with ESPN to try to have a new format to this. So I would say root for at least one more today of the teams that had the bye to lose. That for me would be Georgia. I am rooting for Georgia to lose. I think it'd be a great story if Ole Miss could somehow make a run here after Lane Kiffin left. Now I don't know if you saw the report or not, but Lane Kiffin not only wants to come to the game tonight because that is the Sugar Bowl, right? So that is in, I believe, New Orleans. Obviously, Lane Kiffin now nearby at LSU, but apparently he not only wants to come tonight. He asked ESPN if he could come into the booth and do a segment. ESPN, I guess, to this point has been not receptive. That was the report I saw. So, but I mean, talk about being tone deaf. You want to come to an Ole Miss game. You're now the coach of LSU. You left Ole Miss, and you want to come in the game, make it about you, and then go on ESPN. I hope they do not let him on there. I hope that they stick with it and say, no, you're not coming on the show. If you want to go, somebody wants to give you a pass or a ticket, that's fine, but you're not coming on to. But that's still going to be a storyline. I get it, but I'm rooting for Ole Miss in that one. Johnny, the other two, I mean, I would love to see Texas Tech win. I think they're so fun to watch, and a lot of people don't realize how good they are because they're Texas Tech, and you watch them play on both sides of the ball, and they're a very fun team. I am rooting for Texas Tech, but because they had the bye and because Oregon, I really could see Oregon probably winning the game, but I'm rooting for Texas Tech. And the same with that Rose Bowl, Johnny. I want Indiana. I think it's a really cool story if you can get Indiana to move on to the next round to beat Alabama, but Indiana's coming off the bye. Alabama looked pretty good in their last game. Wouldn't shock me if Alabama won that one as well. I know the spread is 7, but
no, it can't shock you anymore if the team with the layoff loses, right? It can't shock you.
I'll probably be on Alabama money line just because it's just
first half, at least the first half, right? I mean, it feels like okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're going to race somebody. one person doesn't get to do any racing for like a month and the other guy gets like 3 practice races before the actual race. So he's feeling a little looser. Now, in the past, it didn't matter. Both teams had the same layoff. They were all 5 weeks or whatever it was. Both teams had it. Now they don't. So maybe it'll be different. Maybe all these teams watched yesterday. And if you're Texas Tech and you're Georgia, you're saying, guys, this is a thing. We can't be sluggish, ruggish. We can't. These teams are. That's not the Ohio State that we've seen all year. That's a team that, they're still getting back into the swing of things. They're just going through the motions at this point. Hasn't really hit them that they're playing. And maybe that's not an excuse, but this is 5 straight games now. I love Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech, I picked them to win it or to go to the title game. I think they can win it, but this scares me now. The layoff. I'm looking at the layoff. I saw Oregon get burned with it last year, having the layoff. Now Oregon doesn't this year. Let's see how they come into that thing. By the way, it's a nasty day in Pasadena. I don't know.
I'm
nasty there. I'm looking right now on game day.
Yeah.
They're just taking the tarp off the field, and it's just gross in that stadium. So we'll see if that has a factor today.
Yeah, I'm actually flying to San Diego this afternoon. My kids were originally supposed to be in this baseball showcase thing in conjunction, obviously going for the San Diego State game on Saturday. And we've been following the weather all week, and they end up canceling this thing what they were supposed to do. But they're still going to come and go to the game on Saturday, and I'm hoping the next couple of days maybe get them out to the beach or something. But yeah, it's been raining not just today, Johnny. Yesterday, the day before, Southern California, it's just been raining like crazy the last couple of days, and I saw that rain there this morning on College game day, and yeah, it's crazy, man. The squeegees, they're out there trying to push the water off, and that's going to be very interesting. But I like I said, yeah, I'm flying right towards that this afternoon, going down to San Diego for that game on Saturday, which we will talk about in a few minutes. But I'm rooting for Texas Tech, I'm rooting for Indiana, and I'm rooting for Ole Miss today. I'm not sure those are the 3 teams that actually win. I mean, Indiana is a touchdown favorite. Out of the 3, that's probably the one that percentage-wise you would feel the best about. They've looked really, really good. Texas Tech, that's a 2.5-point spread, Johnny. You make some sense there on the first half line. But I'm pulling for Texas Tech. But again, if Oregon were to win, it wouldn't be the worst thing for me because it would just strengthen this bye thing, got to be done, all that, and that's fine. Somebody said in here they want the first 2 games on campus. I'm not sure you can do that, Johnny, because of the yeah. If they go to 16, I think you get 8 games on campus. But then you need to funnel into these other bowl games for the final 8 like you are right now. So if you go to 24, you could get 2 rounds on campus, the opening round or whatever, and then the first round. But if you go to 16, which I don't expect major changes to 24 at this point, I think they just add 4 teams, go to 16. The Power 4 teams get a spot. The Group of 5 gets 1 spot. And then I hope it's 11 at larges. I hope they don't guarantee 3 spots to the SEC, 3 spots to the Big Ten. I mean, that was the most enjoyable part last night was the ACC. Everyone's crapping on the ACC, how bad they are, whatever. And then Miami goes and beats many people's national champion pick in Ohio State last night. And so I hope it's 5 plus 11, 11 at larges, 5 guaranteed spots. And you know what? If Boise State or Tulane or whoever are 16th every year, and have to go play at Georgia or at Ohio State or at whoever every year, you know what? So what? You got your chance to get in. You're fine. You did it. You know, good for you. You had your shot. And all these teams that are complaining, about these teams getting in, well, they're going to be the 16 seed, and the 1 seed's reward is going to pretty much be an easy home game against one of these schools every year. It works fine. I hope that's what they decide to do. Somebody was asking Johnny about why does ESPN get to set the deadline for this? They have the contract. They have the contract for this to air these games, and any changes to the contract, any extra games getting added, whatever, have to be approved. And ESPN has a say in that. They have the contract to air these games moving forward here. So the previous decision was a couple weeks ago or last month, and they agreed to extend it if they can get to a format that everybody's happy with and figure out the money and the games and all this. But that's why ESPN has a say. They have a signed contract to air these games, and if the schedule and the format is changing, they get a say in that. But I would be pretty surprised, Johnny, if it stays at 12. I think folks are going to realize we need to get rid of the buys, and the easiest way to do that is just go to 16.
And everybody plays immediately after, I guess, the conference championship week.
That's what I would hope. But again, I don't know what you do with Army Navy, and I don't know what the deal is with that and how you do that. And also, can we get the NFL to just get off Saturdays? I know they switched. They had that rule. Part of that bugged me because everyone's like, oh, JMU didn't get any ratings. Oh, Tulane didn't get any ratings. And it's like, well, those were the two games going up against the NFL, at the exact same time of those two games, which was a huge factor in that. And, of course, the Danny Cannells and Bud Elliott's and all these people that have been crapping on the group of five didn't want to bring that up. They just wanted to say that it was, they got crappy ratings, not that they were going against the NFL. I just hate that. I know it's like literally in Congress. It's literally like a law that like the NFL can't play on Saturdays to like the second Saturday in December or whatever. And they jump in right away and take advantage of that with games. And I just hate that during the college football playoff, you had NFL games on at the same time. But that might be I guess if we get all the 16 teams and all that, you just deal with it. And that's not the end of the world. But I don't like that the NFL has games at the same time as the playoff.
Yeah, and start the season week 0. You're going to have to bump everything up, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Labor Day doesn't have to be the official kickoff. It can be the first real big week. Week 0's there. Like, you got to figure out Army and Navy, but at some point, college football as a sport isn't, and they're going to move on, and they're going to leave Army, Navy.
Is that a law, or is that, what is the deal with that?
Else? Huh?
Is that a law, or is that just them not wanting to disrupt them? I mean, could they, if they wanted to, could they just schedule a playoff game at the same time as the Army-Navy game?
Yeah, I think they could.
So they're just trying to be nice to them or whatever. They don't have to be.
I think so. They want to preserve that. College football is fighting its butt off.
So they tell them, hey, we'll give it to you week 0, or we're scheduling a playoff game at the same time. Your choice.
Yeah, well, Lanning's suggestion was just you got to start the whole thing on week 0 now. You need the extra week, and you can start on August 27th, whatever it is. Like,
well, let Army Navy be the only game at 10 a.m. or whatever on week 0, and then just have some other games later in the day or something.
What I would do, and no one's going to ask, but I have Army Navy kicking off the biggest day of the year. It's like, think of that, a 16-team tournament. That's 8 games. And you can span those. I don't know if you want to go 8 in one day. They probably wouldn't. You'll go like 2 the night before, 6 during a day, and then 2 maybe on another day, whatever. You have 8 games. Maybe Army Navy kicks that off. Start Army Navy at 9 a.m. Pacific. Play that. And as soon as Army Navy ends, you get to the playoff game that you have scheduled coming. Put it all in there. This is, like you said, guys, it's pro sports now. Okay, this league has to figure out how to crown the proper champion and stop giving teams such a disadvantage for having a kick-ass season. Like they need to figure that out. And Army Navy, to me, I mean, come on, everything else is getting screwed over in college football. Tell a Wazoo fan that about Army Navy. Like, come on, everybody's having to adjust. Maybe you have to figure out Army Navy week 0 isn't the worst idea, but I know everybody around that game would hate it. It's got to be the end of the year, cold weather. They like the build up to it, but maybe you could convince them to do week 1, where that is the first game of the year, and it's played on a standalone game at the beginning of the year, something like that.
All right, Johnny. So quickly, I mentioned the 3 games today. Oregon, Texas Tech in the Capital One Orange Bowl coming up in about 25 minutes. Alabama, Indiana. That's the biggest spread-wise. Number 9 seed Alabama, number 1 Indiana. That is at 2 o'clock in the Rose Bowl, and then at 6 o'clock, Ole Miss, the 6th seed, coming off their win, is at Georgia in the 3 seed. That spread is 6.5 for Georgia. That is in. They're not at. That's in the Sugar Bowl, but they're the road team there playing Georgia. Quickly, I know you said your only play right now is first half Oregon. Where do you lean in these 3 games here?
I think Indiana's going to beat Bama. I've doubted the Signetti Indiana thing now for like 2 years. Like, I haven't just fully bought in to where this program is right now. It's just hard for me to go there. Now, Kalen DeBoer, and he's done this, he can throw a big screw you to everybody and see, hey, I'm not going anywhere. This is still a really good team. And yeah, if you put Alabama and Indiana on a football field together, Indiana's like not going to win in 100 years of playing. Maybe he can pull that out today, Kalen DeBoer. But, man, Kurt Cignetti just wins. And he's got a Heisman winning quarterback. He's got a good head on his shoulders. They're 7-point favorites. The only thing that worries me about Indiana is possibly the weather. Maybe it does slow them down. But I would probably take Indiana just to win. I'm a Georgia guy. I'll take Georgia over Ole Miss. They have an interim coach. At some point, I think it's going to bite him in the butt at Ole Miss. And I think Georgia will handle business there tonight. And I don't know about Oregon and Texas Tech. It was funny, man. It just hit me like this morning. I got a bunch of people I know that were in Miami last night on New Year's. And I'm looking at friends of mine going like, damn, she's in Miami tonight? Miami? And then I woke up, I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. The Ducks are in Miami. You got all these freaking Oregon people, Portland and wherever, that are spending – that's a long trip, Eugene to Miami to play.
Yeah.
But, I want to say like the early morning kick bugs me for Oregon. I don't like Oregon. I don't like any team in the Pacific playing in the early window. The body clock, that scares me.
They've been there a couple days.
Exactly. That's why it's different. Oregon's been there a few days. They're completely adjusted to it. And I think they'll be okay versus an NFL team that gets there hours before they play and they try to trick their body clock. And there's certain teams that have that really struggle doing that.
I'm as we speak, Johnny, going to our local bookie here that we both know, and I Oregon first half. I'm going to follow you on that. I think that's going to be a play to give me something first half, and then I may come back for the game with Texas Tech, and maybe you can find one of those where you can have it be in the same bed or whatever.
I think Texas Tech can win 100%. Yeah. I think they probably kind of will win. I just think Oregon might be leading at halftime because of the layoff.
Hey, by the way, so I said I'm going to San Diego, obviously, for the game on Saturday. Well, I'm looking at the schedule and people I follow on Twitter. Friday night is the Holiday Bowl or whatever they call it there in San Diego, SMU and Arizona. If someone were to give me even like a free ticket, is that on a Friday night in San Diego at all worth going to? SMU and Arizona in the whatever bowl that is now, or is that? I mean,
it's the Holiday.
If I ask my wife about that, do you want to go take the kids to the Holiday Bowl, Arizona and SMU? Would I get locked out of the hotel room? I mean, that's probably not something that.
Yeah, I don't think Karen wants to go to a football game. It's all she ever does. This one doesn't even have a team she has any interest in.
No.
Is it Snapdragon Stadium?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Petco, I might be more interested because you get the whole football game in a baseball stadium.
But Arizona, SMU, there's really nothing appealing about either of those teams.
Agree.
Yeah, I'll probably now, I don't know if I want to deal with Friday traffic getting up to L.A., but another thing on my bucket list that I've never done, Johnny, is see LeBron play. And LeBron's playing a home game Friday night in L.A. I don't know what that drive would be, how much that would cost for tickets for my boys, but that might be a little. I might be able to convince Karen to at least consider that one.
Dude, family of 4 NBA game. Let's factor in L.A., LeBron. I mean, that's going to set you back. There's going to be 3 zeros on the end of that check you have to write, BJ.
Even in the nosebleeds?
Sure. Hell yes, man. A family of 4 to go see LeBron and crypto. I mean, you're going to probably pay. I don't know. You could look at StubHub right now. Yeah, $300 a pop for you, $1,200. But I think it'd be more than $300 a pop.
And a Friday, I mean, you'd have to leave at noon probably to deal with traffic getting up to LA. Probably not worth it.
Do something else, man.
Yeah. The boys want to go to SeaWorld on Friday. Maybe we'll do that.
I've been to SeaWorld several times.
They got some good roller coasters there.
I don't know how they teach those animals to do all those tricks.
Well, they're phasing out the after that documentary that they had on whatever that was on CNN or whatever Netflix. They're phasing out the orca whales, so their show is much different, and they're eventually getting rid of them altogether. So maybe that is something to take the kids to one more time. But yeah, Bob says not based on how the Lakers are playing. Maybe it'll be a little cheaper tickets.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's ever based on how the Lakers are playing.
Is this LeBron's last season?
I don't think LA lowers ticket prices when the team isn't good.
Is this LeBron's last season, you think?
I just don't know if LeBron's got the ego that wants to do the curtain call, announce ahead that this is my last season so he knows it's a year-long celebration versus Tim Duncan, who just retired the day after the season ended in 15 or 16, and there was no fanfare. He didn't do. Tim Duncan could have got all that, should have, deserved it, but he just retired quietly. Does LeBron do that? Or does LeBron want to go to every arena like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did?
And get the free gifts and all that stuff.
Get a free gift from every arena.
They do rocking chair, all that stuff. Yeah,
that's what they did for Kareem. Every stop, every team had a gift for him before the game. You can go back and look that up, and it was cool. So I would imagine LeBron wanting that, but guys like Tim Duncan didn't. Kobe did. Kobe wanted the whole year, and that's fine. Cool. Celebrate me. This is it. You want to see me? This is the last year you get to do it. But Tim Duncan was like, "Oh,
yeah, I don't. I'll
$121, cheapest seat. Okay, that's $500 to get you in.
The track. It looks a lot shorter on MapQuest than it actually is too, with the traffic and everything. It is on my bucket list, and I'm going to be sad if he retires before. I'm going to try to find its way somehow if he comes back next year, probably to go see LeBron.
Go to Salt Lake, man.
Yeah, or drive to Portland or something. I got to figure something out, but not probably happening on this trip here.
But playing in Salt Lake though, that'll probably be an opt-out off night.
That's the problem now. These guys, the load management, you can't count on it. You got to probably go to LA to see it. I got
a thing, and I'm going to mention this probably on a national opportunity I have, BJ, but just with the NBA, and I don't want to get too far off track, but Kobe Bryant said something during The Last Dance. I've seen it 25 times like we all have, and it really stood out. Kobe said, when I came into the league as a teenager, the best players were grown-ass men. They were all in their mid-30s. Like they had been in the league for a long time, established. Jordan, Karl Malone, all those dream teamers, Stockton, they were old. Now you look at the NBA and the best players are under 25. And it's hard. I think for me at least, it's harder to sink my teeth in to the NBA. It felt like it was just a bigger deal with those players Kobe was referring to. Like guys come into the league now and they're like, who gives a shit? I'm 20 years old. Doesn't matter. Like Kobe was like, you came into the league when I was coming to the league. Like you got your ass kicked, man. These were grown men. And I think the NBA is kind of struggling on that. The ratings are down and I don't know what's going on.
Would you call it a national opportunity that you have coming?
Yeah, that's like a national segment. I'm working on some
stuff. I know, but I think we've already talked about this. But if not, congratulations again, man. Johnny host. When's that start?
Sunday.
My boy Alex Gold got a Saturday show on there too. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah. Two former Boise radio talents, national Gold's been Kansas City for a while though. He's been doing the big market thing.
Yeah, but Johnny's hosting 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Mountain Time Sunday night on Westwood 1, right? And that's part of your station. So folks in Boise can listen right there on KTIK Sunday nights, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Johnny talking NFL, Johnny talking NBA, it sounds like, college. I mean, is it called the Johnny NFL Ball Game Show? Is it back or?
It's actually Westwood 1 Sports Night. That's what the title of what we're going to do.
That's kind of lame. Bring back the Johnny Ball Game Show.
Maybe in time, but I just do what I just do what I'm told on that. They don't want, the production's going to come, but yeah. Westwood 1 Sports Night, 9 p.m. I'll be there.
Congrats, man. That's pretty cool. By the way, 4 courtside seats, $5,650. I assume that's
or per.
I was going to say, is that per ticket or is that, I would hope that's total, but that's only $1,400 a ticket or something. I don't know.
It's like not a bad deal to sit courtside at a Laker game to see LeBron play.
Not happening on this trip, but I would have a better chance of convincing my wife on that than let's go spend our Friday night at the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah, you don't want to go to the Holiday Bowl. I'm kind of it's San Diego too. It's not hard to find fun things to do there, man.
Yep. Hey, I'm gonna I want to get out of here soon. I told you we'd go short, and of course, we're already at 45 minutes. I want to get off for sure before this game starts, but I want to have one quick thought. I do need to quickly thank some sponsors. Lithia Ford, check them out. Our new title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. Got some great deals going on right now. Check them out. Lithia Ford of Boise. We appreciate them for their title sponsorship. Sun Cruiser, real iced tea, real vodka. Perfect time to check out a Sun Cruiser. I highly recommend the vodka lemonades. There's no tea in those. They're tremendous. No carbonation. Strawberry lemonade. Go get the variety pack. Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor. Hey, ICCU, Idaho Central Credit Union. You see there with Pearson Carmichael. He had a nice game the other night. And Idaho Central Credit Union, branch pretty much on every corner. Easiest, of course, that mobile e-branch online right there in your smartphone. ICCU.com. Johnny, if the Broncos get 75 points, you get a 75-cent any size fountain drink at Jackson's moving forward, and that's any game, not just the home games. Any game, 2 days later, you get a 75-cent fountain drink from our friends at Jackson's. Taco Bell, they're giving away a taco for 83 points. So, Johnny, if you get 83 points for the Broncos in a home game, you get a free taco and a free drink. How about that? But Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Check them out. We appreciate the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Taco Bell. Johnny, I may have gone to Taco Bell on New Year's Eve by myself last night. I may have. And I may have the quesadilla still in my fridge that I didn't eat. I was going to go show it to you, but I don't know if that's fair or foul to reheat a Taco Bell quesadilla.
No, you don't even need to reheat Taco Bell quesadillas. For me, they almost taste as good just dry and cold the next day, brother.
All right, well, when this show ends, I may give that a shot here. Boise State basketball gear is ready to go. The Blue and Orange Store, they got you covered anywhere in the world. You can order online at theblueandorangestore.com. You can go to their Boise Town Square Mall location. You can also order there at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame. They've got 4,000 hats on the hat wall there. The Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorangestore.com. Matt Boucher Real Estate. We bought and sold our home with Matt. Appreciate him. Check him out at BoucherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets, ShopRidleys.com. 13 locations. Find one near you at ShopRidleys.com. Rowpaint.com, 20% off those winter painting projects. Hit them up, Andy Rowe and Company. 20% off those winter painting projects at rowpaint.com. Transportation compliance service. If you need a new job, the trucking industry is calling. Get more information. Sign up today online at transcomservice.com. Element Fencing, new sponsor here at BNN. Look at the craftsmanship on those fences. 25 plus years, family-owned fencing company. Decks, pergolas, fences, you name it, online, elementfencing.com. And Johnny's Signature Roofing, we appreciate them for their support as well. You can leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox line, speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox. And Signature Roofing, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, they got you covered. The best in the business. The official roofer of Bronco Nation News is Signature Roofing. Again, online at mysignatureroofing.com. All right, Johnny, one thought on the transfer portal. There's 14 names in there right now for Boise State. Do you expect any more names of any kind of significance to pop in there for Boise State in the next 2 weeks?
None. I mean, is Matt Miller going to take a couple guys to Pullman? You know, an experienced veteran receiver who wants to go up there and know the offense and help with the transition. I can't even think who that receiver would be. Hell, maybe Latrell Caples, who has another year left, go up in Pullman and be like a player coach. No, I don't think it's going to. I wish Boise State did more in the portal, though, BJ. I look at these teams and I look how college football is, and there's just an abundance of talent that's ready-made. And I sometimes I think that Boise State kind of looks down on teams that build their roster that way, that just go into the portal and pay for what they need. And we need this, we need that. Okay, we like his numbers. Okay, let's do our research. Let's get him and him and him and him. And it feels like Boise State's one of those programs that wants to hold back on that. You know, we get our guys out of high school because they're OKGs and we coach them up. And once we do that, they're going to be better for us than anybody we're going to find in the portal. And if that works, great. But it didn't work this year, I don't think. They lost 5 games and they've lost a lot of pieces, BJ. I don't think we can sit here and just say, okay, all the players they lost, next man up. Like, this isn't the Chris Peterson era where they could do that. Like, I don't see that this year with this team. So I want to see what they do in the portal. I'm not even talking quarterback. Quarterback's one of the positions I'm actually okay with right now. You look at the defensive line, interior, they're light this year, BJ, really light. Like they have like 2 players on the defensive line that are over 300 pounds. Oregon today, defensive tackles, they have 2 that are 300. Oregon has 7. Like you can get that type of beef in the portal too. I go there. I've seen it. There's a ton of players who are in the portal from big schools who weigh over 300 pounds, who have the girth I think you need. You want to beat big teams? Well, you better be big yourself, like physical, like not just being able to get pushed around and relying on trick plays and schemes to beat good teams, because you don't run trick plays and you're not amazing on your scheme either to beat a good team. So you might have to line up and just play them. And I want to see Boise State get a few players in the portal. I don't know what money they have to spend. I'll throw this question back to you now that we're going over time here. What do you think they do in the portal? I mean, BJ, what are they going to do with defensive line? Interior, not Steege or JVM, but D tackle and nose guard. Like they are really small there. They were small this year and they're smaller now.
By the way, Johnny, not to change the subject, but Texas Tech is now favored on our site.
Okay.
The money's coming in on Texas Tech. They were +1 literally 5 minutes ago. Now I tried to make a bet and it's gone up.
People don't want to pay attention to the layoff, and maybe I'm wrong on that. And I love Texas Tech, but the layoff, yeah.
Anyway, the problem, Johnny, is they have. You can mention the defensive line. They also need linebacker. They also need secondary. They also need receiver, offensive line. They need at least 1 starter, I believe, in the offensive line to come out of the portal to feel great about the line next year. So they got a lot of issues, and they don't have a lot of money to spend in the portal. They're going to have to either find guys at the FCS level, the Derek Ganter Juniors that don't care about money but have some stats and are just ready to challenge themselves at the next level. They're going to have to find backups. A la Cade Beresford a couple years ago at Washington State was a backup, didn't play a whole lot. Now, that was a little different because his dad played at Boise State. But you got to find a backup somewhere else that doesn't care about the money. They want a chance to prove themselves. And I said this last week. I'm not quite going with the Jeff Choate, come here and we'll develop you and you can get 1.4 at Oregon next year. I'm not going that far. But if you're a guy that is a backup and hasn't had a chance to play, hey, we got plenty of playing time available at safety now. Come on in, put up some big numbers, and then go get your paycheck somewhere else if you want. 100%. Like, obviously, Spencer Danielson is not going to use that recruiting pitch that Jeff Choate did. He wants to keep all these guys. But if you are just some 4-star guy, you're the backup at Oregon. You're the backup safety at Oregon, or whoever it is, 3rd-string safety at Oregon, but you were a top 300 player, and you just want a chance to play. Boise State's got plenty of opportunity for you. We can't pay you, but we can give you a playing time, and I think that's the kind of guys you're going to need to find, because if you're battling money-wise, you're not getting anybody in this portal. They just don't have the money. They're not competing with money, and they're going to have to find the OKGs the guys that just want to play. You can offer playing time, and that is a big deal to some people. That's going to be – I don't think you're going to find – when we find out who they do add in the portal, Johnny, it's not going to be, oh, my gosh, that guy had 6 sacks at Indiana, or, oh, that guy had whatever. It's going to be, oh, he had 3 tackles for Oregon last year. Oh, he had, at Notre Dame, he played, had 7 tackles and 1 pass breakup as a backup at Oregon. Or, at Notre Dame or USC, whatever. You're going to find guys with not much stats at all that are going to come in looking for playing time. That's what I think it's going to be. And until they can find a way to close this gap money-wise, you just can't offer any money in the portal. And I don't know how you would rank it, Johnny. It sounds like you're putting your defensive line pretty high on the list, but they're losing both starting safeties. They're losing both starting corners. They're losing Marco Notriani at linebacker. I mentioned the offensive line. You feel okay about Matt Wagner, and that's another reason why they're not, people are clamoring for the quarterback, although I do think most people have kind of realized it now, like they just have bigger needs. Yeah, you can say what you want about Maddox Madsen, but if you only have a certain amount of money, it doesn't make any sense to spend any money at all on a quarterback right now. You can say what you want. Maddox Madsen has his ceiling, whatever. I won't argue that, but I also think in all the holes they have right now, there are way bigger issues than quarterback, and it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks here to see how they kind of try to fill these roster spots with, again, and maybe they change their philosophy. Maybe they do say, okay, we're going to allocate $4 million to the current roster and $1 million to the portal. I don't know. But they're going to have to figure out something because they do have some major holes on this roster.
That's what Leon did, as you know, with their salary and their payroll structure. They went outside and used money to get them to come in. It's just like, okay, back to Oregon. Like, exactly. Oregon has 7 defensive tackles that are all 300 pounds. 2 of those wouldn't come star at Boise State. I know you don't get as much money, and you'll be back at Oregon in 2 years. And Spencer, and I like this, he's not going to rate anybody else's roster. He's not going to call them now. And that's what happens. And other schools are doing it. That's why they get the players they want. You go into the portal and then come to us. It's kind of a deal that they work out beforehand. But yeah, those players are there. And we'll see what Boise State does. This will be an interesting year rebuilding this roster. And who knows? This might be Oregon's last game of the season too, kicking off here in a little bit. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. That's the next game is at Oregon, and yeah, man, I don't know what to say about that, man. That's going to be a rough one. It looks like, but Boise State's beat good teams before. It's been a while.
All right, Johnny, give me a thought on Boise State basketball. We were both there at Extra Mile Arena. They get the nice win over New Mexico. Really struggled to shoot the ball, but finally got it going enough to win. It was not a visually appealing game, from an offensive perspective on either side, but Boise State 62-53, I think it was. They get the win. They hold, New Mexico well below their season average in points. And now they go to San Diego on Saturday, where I believe, Johnny, Boise State, last 10 games against San Diego State, they're actually 7-3. They've had some success against San Diego State the last couple of years. 7-3, I believe, is what I looked up. But never easy going to Viejas. This San Diego State team, I think, is better than they've played to this point. At some point, it's all going to click for them. You'll hope it's not on Saturday. Students, I don't think, will be in session, but they still get, even out of session, a pretty good student turnout there at Viejas. But big opportunity on Saturday night at Viejas, Johnny.
7-3. Usually, if San Diego State is big, long, strong, athletic, it's hard for Boise State, certainly in the Viejas, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with this team. I don't love this Aztec team, and that's what this is more about for me than where I am with Boise State's team. I think this will be close. I don't think it's going to be going down to San Diego 2 years ago where your point guard literally can't get the ball past the timeline. If you remember that situation with the backup, I think he's at UNLV right now. They just shut him out. Pushed him out of the gym. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think San Diego State's that type of San Diego State, but it'd probably be a loss. I get it. You don't win down there, but let's just see how they play. Like I'm saying, in my estimation, you got to be 15-5 to feel pretty good on Selection Sunday without winning the Mountain West Conference tournament. Go 15-5 in this league. You're 1-1. I'm not sure. You tell me how it's going to end up. But if I was going to say 15-5, what are the 5 losses? I would probably say the Viejas is one of them, and I think you would agree.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And you look at the stretch they have coming up, though, Johnny, in the next couple of games. You get Grand Canyon at home next Wednesday. That's a winnable game, even though they are a solid team. Utah State, very tough game, but it's at home, and it's a 7:00 next Saturday, Johnny. If you can, that should be close to a sellout, you would hope, you'd think?
Yep. Yeah, we were really impressed with the crowd on Tuesday, right? At 9:00. That building, that wasn't packed, but it wasn't empty, BJ. And we'll see about Wednesday with Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that one might be tough, but
that's going to be rough.
Either way, Johnny, we'll see what happens. I'll have plenty more basketball talk with Prater tomorrow. He'll be on his laptop in Park City, Utah or something.
Nice. I wonder where
tomorrow
is right now.
He wanted to do the show tomorrow, so I said, all right, we'll do it. So I'll be live from San Diego tomorrow morning. We'll have full coverage, getting you set for Saturday's game. And then, of course, Bob and Abe on the radio side will be there for Learfield Bronco Radio Network, KTIK on courtside. And then Bronco Nation News will be there as well. Our pregame show will start, I believe it's an 8:00 Mountain Time tip, 7:00 in San Diego. So we'll start at 7:00 Boise time with the Lithia Ford to Boise pregame show on Saturday night, 7:00. Saturday from Viejas Arena in San Diego. So
Let me know if you need me to hop on for that too, BJ.
Okay, maybe so. We'll see. It's a big show if Johnny is willing to, a big game if Johnny's willing to pop, or he has nothing else going on and no life. But Johnny, enjoy the football today. Getting ready to kick off that first game there, so appreciate you. Hope everybody has a great New Year. By the way, did you have any fireworks in your neighborhood last night?
A ton, man.
It felt like it was more fireworks in my neighborhood than I heard on 4th of July.
The fireworks show at the Potato Drop was one of the 3 or 4 best fireworks shows I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of stupid.
Were you there or were you watching on TV?
I watched on my phone in the parking lot of an empty establishment with a friend. We just kind of parked, we hung, we put
the torch was open last night?
Huh?
The torch was open last night?
Of course, but that's not where I was. I didn't need the torch. I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, it was amazing, BJ, the fireworks show. And it was hilarious. It felt like I was watching an SNL skit. There's this potato just hanging in the air, and there's a Capitol building behind it, and all these fireworks going off. Like, did you guys see it? It was a 20-minute fireworks show. And then my neighborhood too. BJ, you should know this by now, but Idahoans, they love blowing stuff up. That's why you can light off fireworks like year round in this state. That's why we could go to a fireworks shop right now and it would be busy with people off the side of the freeway. But that fireworks show, whoa, that was sick. I watched. I
was laying in bed at midnight. That was my whole midnight experience. But I was amazed. And maybe on the 4th of July they're more spread out, but everyone shoots the fireworks off right at midnight. So maybe that's why it seemed like it was more. But It felt like my entire neighborhood was all. It was like a war zone. It felt like last night.
Man, I couldn't believe it too. But that's Boise and that's Idaho, and I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna poo-poo a fireworks show. That's the dumbest thing ever, right? It's a fireworks show. Oh, it wakes me up. Oh, like, I know. And it sucks. Like my boy Bob Beeler, fireworks just destroy their dogs. They get so scared and they hate it. It's like Bob doesn't get the firework love in this state because his dogs, man. But no, I do, man. That was a hell of a show last night.
Hey, one more thank you. Lithia Ford of Boise, our new title sponsor. If you came on the show late, Jim Sturk, Jamie Drake, the whole crew over at Lithia. Excited to have them on board as our title sponsor for 2026. Big things ahead, more partnerships, more games, more shows at Lithia. We're excited for this sponsorship. Best in the business, folks. Get over to Lithia Ford of Boise. I assume they're closed today, but get over to Lithia. They got some great deals and options, especially with those 2026 models. So coming on, they need to get rid of the 2025. So Lithia Ford of Boise, excited for them to be our title sponsor here in 2026. Appreciate them. Go subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. 50% off. We still got that special going for a few more days. 50% off at BroncoNationNews.com. And again, Johnny, you should have your Venmo for the month of January. We've now locked in Johnny for at least 4 more shows. And appreciate you. Appreciate all of our viewers, all of our subscribers, all of our sponsors. You all kind of make this thing work together. So go support the sponsors. Go sign up. And Johnny will be back Monday on KTIK. We'll talk to him next Thursday. Maybe Viejas Arena. We'll see remotely coming in there. So have a great rest of your New Year's. Enjoy the football. That game's about to kick off any minute. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bronco Nation News live online. BroncoNationNews.com. Johnny's headed to the torch, folks.